Beloved, I call you to pay attention, not to the noise of fear, but to the quiet movement of my hand over your work season. I call you away from the frantic thoughts that rise before the sun, away from the heavy questions that meet you before your feet touch the floor, away from the whisper that says, you have been forgotten simply because the path before you has become unclear. I know the pressure you have been carrying around your work. I know the exhaustion you do not always have language for. I know the mornings when your body rises, but your spirit feels as though it is still sitting beneath yesterday's weight. I have seen the applications that received no answer. I have seen the doors that seemed to open just enough to give you hope, then closed before you could step through. I have seen the unfair treatment, the overlooked effort, the silent tears after long days, the income that feels unstable, the bills that speak loudly, and the fear that provision is slipping away from your hands. Nothing about your hidden struggle has been hidden from me. The meeting that wounded you, the rejection that embarrassed you, the burnout that made you wonder whether something was wrong with your faith, the secret thought that maybe you missed your moment. I saw it all. Heaven noticed. I noticed. But listen deeply, my child. The heaviness around your work is not proof that I have abandoned you. The pressure you feel is not always a sign that you are failing. Many times, the pressure is the first mercy that causes you to pay attention to what your soul can no longer ignore. I did not awaken you simply to endure another cycle of anxiety and dread. I awakened you because I am revealing that your work season is shifting. I am stirring your heart because appointed timing is moving beneath the surface, even while your outer circumstances still look uncertain. There are seasons when I allow discomfort to rise, not to destroy your peace, but to loosen your grip on what can no longer carry the grace for your future. There are seasons when confusion in the professional place is not confusion in heaven. What looks to you like delay may be hidden preparation. What looks to you like a closed door may be protection. What looks to you like provision anxiety may be the threshold where I teach you again that your source has never been a company, a manager, a paycheck, a client, or a title. Your source is me. As written in the book of Jeremiah, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Beloved, those words are not far from your work season. They are not separate from the unanswered email, the difficult supervisor, the uncertain contract, the resume you keep revising, or the dream you have been afraid to name out loud. I know the thoughts I think toward you, even when you do not know the next step. I know the end, while you are still standing at the beginning of the threshold. And as written in Psalm 37, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Notice, beloved, I did not say only the destination is ordered. I said the steps, the small step, the hidden step, the painful step, the step that feels delayed, the step away from what once felt secure, the step toward what still feels unseen. I am not merely watching your work life from a distance. I am ordering your steps through it. I am placing light where fear has tried to build darkness. I am calling you to discern the difference between panic and holy prompting. So today, before this message goes any further, let your heart answer me with surrender. If these words are already speaking to your work situation, if you can feel that I am naming what you have been carrying in silence, like this video, as a sign that you are receiving this word with faith, subscribe for daily God-centered encouragement, because you will need my truth more than the voice of fear in this new season. And write in the comments, Lord, guide my work season, not as empty words, but as a declaration that you are no longer trying to force open what I have closed, nor cling to what I am asking you to release. Beloved, this is not the end of your story. This pressure is not your final chapter. The heaviness around your work is the sound of a shift beginning in the hidden place. Pay attention. I am near. My hand is moving. And the same God who has kept you until now is preparing to guide you into a new season of provision, purpose, and peace. Beloved, the door that closed before you was not always a denial. The silence after the interview was not always rejection. The opportunity that seemed perfect, the position that looked like an answer, the room you prayed to enter, the leader you hoped would notice you, the company you thought would finally value what you carry, I saw all of it. I saw your hope rise. And I saw the ache that came when nothing moved. I saw you question your worth because an email never came, because a promise was not kept, because someone less prepared seemed to move ahead while you remained waiting in the hidden place. But listen to me with a steady heart. I did not close the door to punish you, beloved. I closed it because I saw what waited behind it before you did. I saw the room before you entered it. I saw the culture that would have drained your soul, the pressure that would have compromised your peace, the assignment that would have consumed your strength but never honored your calling. I saw the place that looked like promotion from the outside but would have become a prison on the inside. I saw the opportunity that would have paid you, but slowly pulled you away from the purpose I am forming in you. You called it rejection because you could only see the door. I called it protection because I could see the room. You called it delay because you could only see the waiting. I called it mercy because I was rearranging what you could not reach. You thought I was withholding something good, but there were moments when I was standing between you and something that would have looked good long enough to pull you out of my peace. Not every open door is sent by me. Not every yes carries my grace. Not every place that wants your labor is worthy of your life. I know the pain of being overlooked. I know what it has done inside you when leaders did not recognize your gifts, when your diligence was treated as ordinary, when your ideas were ignored until someone else spoke them, when you carried more than others could see and still felt invisible. I know how workplace rejection can touch old wounds and make you wonder whether you are behind, whether you are unqualified, whether you are too late, whether your gifts will ever find a place to breathe. But your value has never been measured by the speed of human approval. Your calling is not canceled because a person failed to recognize it. Remember Joseph. He was not forgotten by me when he was hidden in prison. He was not abandoned because the palace did not yet know his name. He had dreams before he had a platform. He had promise before he had position. He had favor even in confinement. And while men forgot him, I was preparing him, as written in the book of Genesis. But the Lord was with Joseph and shewed him mercy. Beloved, my presence with Joseph did not always look like immediate release. Sometimes, my presence looked like endurance in a place he did not choose. Sometimes my favor looked like responsibility and obscurity before authority and visibility. And so it is with you. Do not despise the hidden season simply because it has not yet introduced you to the room you expected. In the hidden place, I am building discernment. In the waiting, I am teaching you how to read motives, how to steward pressure, how to serve without losing your soul, how to lead without needing applause, how to handle responsibility without becoming proud, bitter, or afraid. The administrative wisdom Joseph carried in Pharaoh's house did not begin when Pharaoh called him. It was formed in Potiphar's house. It was sharpened in prison. It was tested while no crowd was watching. Beloved, there are things I must form in you before I place you where many eyes can see you. There are weights I must remove before I entrust you with greater responsibility. There are attachments I must heal before you enter a room where influence could either bless you or break you. I am not slow concerning my promise. I am precise. I do not move by panic. I move by appointed time. So today, stop asking the closed door to define you. Stop letting one unanswered opportunity become a sentence over your future. Do not stand outside what I closed and keep begging for entrance when my hand is already guiding you toward what I have prepared. My silence in one season does not mean my absence. Sometimes heaven is rearranging people, timing, resources, conversations, and circumstances before the next door opens. Sometimes I am moving someone out, moving someone in, softening a heart, changing a structure, or preparing a place that did not exist when you first began praying. Trust me with the doors. Trust me with the delay. Trust me when I say no, not because I am against you, but because I am guarding the yes that carries my peace. What closed behind you did not close over your destiny. It closed over what was not permitted to follow you into the new season. The door that shut was not the end. It was my hand turning you away from what could not carry your calling. And when the appointed door opens, you will understand that I was not denying you. I was leading you. Beloved, now I want you to look not only at the doors around you, but at the weariness within you. For sometimes the clearest sign of a shifting work season is not first seen in an email, an opportunity, a meeting, or a visible change. Sometimes it is first felt in the quiet exhaustion of your own soul. In the place where you keep showing up with your body while your heart feels far away, where you smile because others expect you to be strong, yet inside you are anxious, dry, and silently asking how much longer you can continue carrying what once felt possible. I have seen you working while empty. I have seen you answering messages while your spirit was weary. I have seen you sitting at your desk, standing in your workplace, serving in your role, caring for responsibilities, meeting deadlines, producing results, and still feeling as though something inside you was slowly running out. I have seen the way you have blamed yourself for being tired. I have seen how you wondered whether your faith was weak because the old rhythm no longer gives you strength. But listen deeply, my child. Burnout is not always evidence that you have failed. Sometimes burnout is the place where I begin to reveal what you can no longer carry. The pressure you feel is not always a sign that you are walking in the wrong direction. Many times it is my hand gently leading you out of what has finished its season. There are burdens that once had grace upon them, but now they are becoming too heavy because I am teaching you that grace for an old pattern has lifted. There are routines that once trained you, but now they are draining you. There are responsibilities that once developed discipline in you, but now they are exposing the need for a new rhythm, a new boundary, a new obedience, a new dependence on my voice. I am not calling you into reckless quitting. I am not calling you into fearful decisions made from panic. I am not telling you to run away simply because the road has become difficult. Do not mistake impulse for obedience, and do not call escape faith when fear is the one pushing you. I am calling you to listen. I am calling you to prayer. I am calling you to wisdom. I am calling you to bring your weariness before me honestly, without pretending, without performing, without dressing your exhaustion in religious words while your heart is crying for rest. I do not despise your tiredness. I meet you in it. Remember Elijah, after the fire fell, after the prophets were confronted, after the great spiritual labor and the emotional weight of obedience, he sat beneath the juniper tree and asked that his life might be taken. He was not without calling. He was not without anointing. He was not without my hand upon him. Yet he was exhausted. And what did I do first, beloved? I did not rebuke him for needing strength. I did not shame him for being human. I sought rest. I sought provision. I sent bread and water. I allowed him to sleep before I sent him forward. As written in the book of 1 Kings, the angel of the Lord touched him and said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." Do you see now? Before I gave Elijah the next direction, I restored his strength. Before I spoke to him in the still small voice, I cared for the body that had been worn down by the battle. Before the next assignment became clear, I allowed him to recover enough to hear me again, and so it is with you. There are moments when you are asking me for a map, but first I am giving you rest. There are moments when you are asking for the next door, but first I am healing the part of you that has been wounded by the last room. There are moments when you are asking for acceleration, but first I am slowing you down so your soul can breathe again. Beloved, do not ignore the dryness in your spirit. Do not keep calling survival strength when I am inviting you into renewal. Do not keep carrying what is crushing you without asking me whether I ever asked you to carry it this way. Some burdens were never yours. Some expectations were built by fear. Some rhythms were formed by pressure, not by my peace. Some yeses were spoken because you were afraid to disappoint people. And now your weariness is revealing where your soul needs my truth. So today, come to me with the honest condition of your heart. Let me show you the difference between a difficult assignment that still carries grace and an old season that you are trying to keep alive by your own strength. Let me teach you how to rest without guilt, how to listen without panic, how to move without striving, and how to release what has finished its appointed work in your life. Your weariness is not the end of your calling. It may be the doorway through which I restore your hearing, renew your rhythm, and prepare you for the next step. I am not finished with you. I am restoring you. I am not discarding your gifts. I am protecting the vessel that carries them. Rest in me, beloved, and listen again. The new season will not be entered by exhaustion pretending to be strength, but by a surrendered heart that has learned to move when I speak and rest when I lead. Beloved, beneath the weariness, beneath the closed doors, beneath the questions about timing and direction, there is a deeper fear that you have been carrying quietly. It is the question that rises when the job feels unstable, when the contract may not renew, when the business slows, when the hours are reduced, when the door remains shut longer than you expected. How will I be provided for? How will I pay what must be paid? How will I care for those who depend on me? How will I survive if the place that has fed me can no longer hold me? I have heard these questions before they ever became words upon your lips. I have seen the way provision anxiety sits upon your chest and tries to make every decision feel dangerous. But listen deeply, my child. Your employer is not your source. Your paycheck is not your shepherd. The contract is not your keeper. The business is not your God. I am the one who has carried you through every season. I am the one who opened doors before you knew where to knock. I am the one who gave you strength to work, wisdom to learn, favor to be seen, breath to rise, and grace to endure. The channel may change, but the source does not change. The place that currently pays you may shift, but my hand over your life is not unstable. I did not begin providing for you only when that role began, and I will not stop providing for you if that role ends. As written in the book of 1 Kings, remember the widow of Zarephath. There was famine in the land, and what she had in her hand looked insufficient. A handful of meal, a little oil, a final meal in her own mind. She looked at scarcity and believed she was seeing the end. Yet I sent my word into that place of lack. I asked for obedience in the very place where fear said there was not enough. And when she moved according to my instruction, the barrel of meal wasted not, and the cruse of oil did not fail. Provision appeared in scarcity. Supply flowed where the natural eye saw limitation. What looked too small became enough because I was in it. And so it is with you. Do not look at what is in your hand and decide that I have no more ways to sustain you. Do not look at one stream and believe the river has ended. I may provide through work, and I may provide through a new opportunity. I may provide through wisdom that helps you steward what remains. I may provide through relationships, through favor, through a skill you have not yet fully used, through a conversation you did not expect, through a door that opens quietly, through courage that rises within you to take one faithful next step. I am not limited to the form that provision has taken before. Beloved, sometimes fear makes you cling to a draining place because you secretly believe I cannot feed you anywhere else. Sometimes you stay where your soul is being crushed because the familiar paycheck feels safer than trusting my voice. Sometimes you call it wisdom, but underneath it is fear. I am not asking you to be reckless. I am not asking you to despise responsibility. I am teaching you to separate faithful stewardship from fearful bondage. There is a difference between staying because I have given grace for the assignment and staying because you do not believe I can provide beyond it. So today, let me touch the fear beneath the decision. Let me speak to the part of you that trembles when numbers do not look certain, when timelines do not align, when doors do not open quickly. I know what you need before you ask me. As spoken in the Gospel of Matthew, your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. Those words are not only for bread and clothing, they are for rent, for bills, for children, for food, for transportation, for the next step, for the unknown place between one season and another. I know, I see, I provide. Your provision anxiety is becoming a place of faith formation. I am teaching you to trust the provider more deeply than the current provision channel. I am teaching you that you are not kept by a title, not sustained by a manager, not secured by a market, not preserved by a human system. You are kept by me, and when the work changes, I remain. When the door closes, I remain. When the stream dries, I remain. When the wilderness stretches ahead, I remain. Do not bow to fear, as though fear has the final word over your future. I have carried you before, and I will carry you again. I have fed you in seasons you thought would break you. I have made a way when you could not see one. I have stretched what looked small. I have sent help at the appointed time. I have placed strength in your hands and wisdom in your spirit. Trust me now, beloved. Your work may change, but your source does not change. I am not limited to the place that currently provides for you. I am your provider, and my hand has not left your life. And now listen deeply, beloved, because I often reveal a new season first through a holy unease before I reveal it through an open door. I do not always begin by placing a finished opportunity in front of your eyes. Sometimes I begin by stirring something within your spirit that will not become quiet. Sometimes I begin by allowing peace to lift from an old assignment, not in bitterness, not in rebellion, not in anger, but in a gentle knowing that what once carried grace is no longer carrying life in the same way. Sometimes the first sign is not a door swinging wide. Sometimes the first sign is the whisper in the night, the repeated burden in prayer, the new interest that keeps returning, the unexpected conversation that confirms what you have been sensing, the invitation that seems small but awakens something I placed inside you long ago. Beloved, do not despise the small signs. Do not call them nothing simply because they do not yet look like a full answer. A cloud as small as a man's hand can announce the coming rain. A seed beneath the soil can announce the future harvest. A slight turning in the heart can announce the beginning of an appointed shift. You have been waiting for a dramatic sign, but I have been speaking through repeated impressions, through quiet confirmations, through the way your wisdom has been increasing in a direction you did not plan, through the way old doors have been closing without hatred in your heart, through the way your desire to serve has begun changing shape. There are things you used to tolerate because grace was upon that season, but now your spirit is becoming sensitive to what no longer agrees with where I am taking you. There are conversations that once felt ordinary, but now they seem to carry light. There are skills that once seemed secondary, but now they are coming forward again. There are people who keep mentioning the same possibility. There are scriptures that meet you again and again. There are burdens for certain people, places, problems, and assignments that will not leave your heart no matter how busy you become. Pay attention, my child, not with fear, not with panic, but with discernment. I am not telling you to interpret every inconvenience as a command to leave. I am not telling you that every difficult day is proof that the assignment is over. Some places require endurance. Some seasons require maturity. Some discomfort is the training ground where patience is formed. So, do not move by irritation. Do not move by wounded pride. Do not move because one person offended you, one meeting discouraged you, or 1 week became heavy. Discernment is not impulse dressed in spiritual language. Discernment requires prayer. It requires patience. It requires counsel from those who fear me. It requires the witness of Scripture. It requires attention to fruit, peace, timing, humility, and the character being formed in you as you move. As written in the book of Proverbs, in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Beloved, I am not threatened by wise counsel. I am not asking you to isolate your decision in secrecy and call it faith. Bring the stirring before me. Test the desire in my presence. Ask whether the direction bears the fruit of my spirit. Does it produce peace, wisdom, humility, courage, service, and obedience? Or does it produce haste, bitterness, pride, confusion, and fear? I lead in truth. I lead with light. Even when the path requires courage, my voice does not need chaos to prove that it is mine. Remember Samuel. He heard my voice in the night while the house was quiet, while the lamp of God had not yet gone out, while others around him did not immediately understand what was happening. At first, he did not know how to recognize the voice calling him. He ran to Eli because he thought the sound came from a familiar place, but I was teaching him to hear me. I was awakening discernment in a young servant before I gave him a greater assignment. As written in 1 Samuel, he answered, "Speak, for thy servant heareth." And so it is with you. I may be teaching you to recognize my instruction in a quiet hour before I ask you to walk through a visible door. So today, stop ignoring what your spirit has been sensing, simply because fear keeps demanding complete certainty. Fear wants the whole map before it will take one step. Faith listens for the next instruction and walks with me. Fear says, "What if I miss it?" Faith says, "Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth." Fear waits until every risk disappears. Faith learns to recognize my peace, my timing, my confirmations, and my hand. You do not need to force the door open, but neither must you silence the witness I have placed within you. Pay attention, beloved. Pay attention to the peace that is leaving what once held you. Pay attention to the wisdom increasing in a new direction. Pay attention to repeated confirmation. Pay attention to doors closing without bitterness. Pay attention to the growing desire to serve differently. The work season shift often begins as a quiet inner witness before it becomes an obvious outer opportunity. I am not hiding from you. I am training your ear. I am steadying your heart. I am teaching you to hear me before you hurry, to trust me before you see, and to follow the light I have already given. Beloved, as you pay attention to the small signs, I also want you to look back with new eyes upon the places you once called insignificant. For many of the skills that will serve your next assignment were not formed in rooms where people applauded you. They were formed in quiet places, in repetitive places, in places where you wondered whether anyone saw the excellence you were giving, in places where you had to be faithful without being celebrated, patient without being promoted, diligent without being fully understood. You thought you were only surviving a season, but I was preparing capacity. You thought you were only doing ordinary work, but I was sharpening your hands for something that would one day require the very strength, wisdom, compassion, and discipline being formed in you there. Every early morning, every late night, every overlooked responsibility, every difficult supervisor, every task that seemed beneath your potential, every quiet act of service, every moment when you chose integrity though no one was watching, every time you solved a problem others ignored, every season when you learned to keep showing up with excellence while your name was not mentioned, none of it has been wasted before me. Heaven noticed. I noticed. The repetition was not meaningless. The delay was not empty. The humble role was not a mistake. The rejection did not erase your preparation. The hidden place was not outside my plan. It was one of the rooms where I was forming you. Remember David. Before he stood before Goliath, he stood in fields where few people were watching. Before he carried a crown, he carried a shepherd's staff. Before the nation knew his courage, I saw him protecting sheep from the lion and the bear. Before he led people, he learned to guard what seemed small. Before songs were sung about him, he worshipped me in hidden places. The field looked unrelated to kingship, but it was training his courage, his patience, his worship, his protection, and his dependence on me. As written in the book of 1 Samuel, David said, "The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me." Beloved, David did not discover courage in the public battle. He carried courage there from the private field. And so it is with you. The customer you served with kindness when your own heart was tired was not nothing. The administrative details you handled with care were not nothing. The caregiving that taught you compassion, endurance, and holy attentiveness was not nothing. The leadership pressure that taught you how to make decisions while others depended on you was not nothing. The technical skill you learned through long hours of practice was not nothing. The creative discipline you built when inspiration was weak was not nothing. The business you tried, the mistake you learned from, the rejection that humbled you, the season that stretched your endurance, the problem solving that trained your mind, the conversations that taught you wisdom, all of it has been gathered in my hands. Do not call small what I used to make you ready. Do not despise the years when the work seemed hidden, because hidden work often produces visible strength. A root does not complain because it is beneath the soil. It drinks deeply, anchors quietly, and holds the tree when the winds come. I have been rooting you. I have been teaching you how to stand. I have been using ordinary assignments to form extraordinary faithfulness. I have been using repetition to sharpen your hands, delay to deepen your discernment, and obscurity to purify your motives. So today, stop looking at your history as though it is a pile of disconnected seasons. I have been weaving, I have been building, I have been preparing a vessel that can carry more than a title. The next door is not only about income, though I know what you need. It is also about stewardship. It is about influence. It is about service. It is about becoming light in a place that needs what I have placed inside you. There are people who will be helped because you learned patience in a difficult season. There are rooms that will be strengthened because you learned excellence when no one applauded. There are burdens you will recognize because you once carried them in secret. Nothing faithful has been wasted, beloved. Not one obedient step, not one silent lesson, not one hidden act of excellence. I have been using hidden work to prepare visible capacity, and when the appointed door opens, you will not enter empty. You will enter carrying wisdom from the field, strength from the waiting, compassion from the pressure, and light from every place where I taught you to be faithful with what was in your hands. Beloved, now that you have seen how I used hidden places to prepare visible capacity, I want you to understand this also. You cannot carry the old name into the new room and expect to stand in the fullness of what I am opening. You cannot step into a redeemed assignment while still calling yourself rejected, unqualified, too late, too old, forgotten, behind, ruined, or permanently marked by what did not work before. I did not call you by the name your disappointment gave you. I called you mine before any workplace ever approved you. Before the interview, before the promotion, before the business succeeded or failed, before the contract was signed, before the title was given, before the door closed. Before people praised you, questioned you, used you, overlooked you, released you, demoted you, or misunderstood you, I knew your name. As written in the book of Isaiah, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. Those words are not fragile words. They are not dependent upon your resume, your bank account, your productivity, your position, or the opinion of a room that could not recognize what I placed within you. You are mine. That is the first truth. Every other assignment must flow from that place. I saw the shame you carried when the job ended, and you did not know how to explain it. I saw the heaviness of the career gap, the silent embarrassment of needing help, the ache of financial pressure, the grief of a business that did not become what you hoped it would become. I saw the way a toxic place tried to teach you that your voice did not matter. I saw how demotion tried to make you feel smaller. I saw how rejection tried to make you suspicious of every future door. I saw how comparison whispered that others were ahead while you were stuck, that others were chosen while you were hidden, that others were building while you were beginning again. But listen deeply, my child. What happened to you may have instructed you, but it does not have permission to name you. Failure can become a teacher without becoming a prison. Delay can become a classroom without becoming your identity. A closed door can become protection without becoming proof that you are unwanted. A difficult season can refine your wisdom without defining your worth. I can redeem experience without allowing experience to rule over you. I can take the lesson, the humility, the discernment, the compassion, and the strength from what you endured. And I can leave behind the shame, the bitterness, the fear, and the false identity that tried to attach itself to your soul. Do not enter the new season trying to prove that you deserve to be chosen. Do not overwork to silence the memory of rejection. Do not exhaust yourself trying to convince people that you are valuable. Do not carry bitterness as though it will protect you from being wounded again. Bitterness may feel like armor, but it becomes a weight. Comparison may feel like measurement, but it becomes confusion. Striving may feel like responsibility, but when it is rooted in fear, it drains the very life I am restoring in you. I am not sending a rejected version of you into a redeemed assignment. I am renewing your mind. I am lifting your head. I am teaching you to walk into the next door as one who belongs to me, not as one begging the world to finally validate your existence. Your calling does not begin with anxious striving. It begins with beloved identity. You work from being loved, not for the right to be loved. You serve from being called, not from the terror of being forgotten. You build from my voice, not from the wound of needing to outpace someone else. As spoken in the Gospel of Matthew, ye are the light of the world. Beloved, I did not say you might become light if every season made sense. I did not say you would become light only after every employer approved you, every plan succeeded, and every mistake disappeared from your story. I called you light because my life within you is greater than the darkness you pass through. And now that light must not be hidden beneath shame. It must not be covered by fear. It must not be dimmed by the names people gave you when they only saw one chapter. So today, release the old identity. Release the label of failure. Release the need to punish yourself for what you did not know then. Release the bitterness toward those who could not see you rightly. Release the comparison that has stolen your peace. Let me clothe you again with truth. Let me remind you who you are before I show you where you are going. You are mine. You are called. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not merely the person who lost, failed, waited, depended, or started over. You are the one I have been restoring for an appointed work season, and you will not cross the threshold wearing the name of your wound. You will cross it carrying the light of my redemption. Beloved, now that I have reminded you who you are, I am calling you to move as one who believes. My voice, for identity is not given so you can stand forever at the edge of the threshold, holding truth in your hands but refusing to take the next step. I did not restore your name merely so you could admire the door from a distance. I did not lift shame from your shoulders so fear could keep your feet still. When I give you enough light for the next step, do not demand the whole road before you obey. Clarity often begins to unfold only after trust takes the first step. I know the questions that rise when movement is required. What if I choose wrong? What if I am not ready? What if the door closes again? What if I update what needs to be updated and no one responds? What if I make the call and feel exposed? What if I apply again and remember every rejection? What if I prepare the proposal and it is not received? What if I learn the skill and still feel behind? What if I ask for counsel and hear something that challenges me? What if I forgive the old place and no longer have anger to hide behind? Beloved, I hear every trembling thought, but I am teaching you that obedience is not the absence of trembling. Obedience is trusting my voice more than the trembling. There is a time to pray, and there is a time to rise from prayer with peace and take the step I have been showing you. There is a time to wait, and there is a time when waiting becomes fear wearing the garment of wisdom. There is a time to discern, and there is a time when delay disguises itself as patience, because the heart does not want to risk disappointment again. I am not calling you into reckless haste. I am not asking you to run ahead of my presence. But neither am I asking you to call disobedience caution when my peace has already been speaking, when confirmation has already come, when the small signs have gathered, when your spirit knows the next faithful movement. Remember Peter, he saw the wind, he saw the waves. He stood in a boat surrounded by uncertainty, and yet my son called to him, "Come." The miracle was not found in the safety of the boat. The miracle met him in the place where he responded to the voice of Christ. As spoken in the Gospel of Matthew, Peter answered, "Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water." And when the word came, he stepped. Beloved, the water did not become solid before his foot moved. The storm did not disappear before obedience began. The clarity was in the voice, and the path appeared beneath the step. And so it is with you. Some instruction will not feel complete until you begin. Some provision will not appear until you obey. Some courage will not rise until your feet start moving toward the very thing fear told you to avoid. Each act of obedience becomes a key that unlocks the next measure of clarity. Update what must be updated. Make the call that peace has been pressing upon your heart. Apply again without bowing to the memory of the last no. Prepare what I told you to prepare. Learn what I keep bringing before you. Ask counsel from those who walk in wisdom. Forgive the place that wounded you, so your hands are free for what is next. And when I give peace, move. Do not let overthinking become the altar where your assignment is sacrificed. Your mind is a gift, but fear can turn analysis into a prison. Wisdom asks me for light. Fear demands guarantees I never promised to give before obedience. Wisdom moves with humility. Fear waits until obedience costs nothing. Wisdom honors timing. Fear misses timing because it keeps rehearsing every possible loss. Beloved, there are doors that require obedience while grace is present. There are winds that must be caught when I send them. There are appointed moments when hesitation can harden into regret if you keep letting fear speak louder than faith. So today, do not remain frozen at the threshold. Let your yes become movement. Let your trust become action. Let your restored identity put on shoes and walk. I am not asking you to know every detail. I am asking you to follow the light I have already given. Step with prayer, step with humility, step with counsel, step with peace. But step, my child, for I am leading you one instruction at a time, and the next measure of clarity is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Beloved, as you step, understand this with a sober and tender heart. I am not shifting your work season only so you can breathe easier, though I do care about your breath. I am not opening a new door only so your schedule can change, your income can increase, or your name can be seen in a room that once overlooked you, though I know every need attached to your life. I am doing something deeper than comfort. I am making your healed places useful. I am making your wisdom a shelter. I am making your excellence a lamp. I am making your testimony bread for someone else who will one day stand where you once stood, afraid, uncertain, weary, and wondering whether I have forgotten them. The work shift is not only about where I am taking you, it is also about who I intend to bless through what I have formed in you. There are people who will need the patience that was born in your waiting. There are co-workers who will need the kindness you learned when you were treated without kindness. There are clients who will need the honesty you chose when dishonesty would have been easier. There are families, teams, customers, students, patients, neighbors, and hidden souls who will encounter something of my light because you chose to let me redeem what tried to break you. Do not think ordinary work is too small for sacred purpose. A desk can become a place of peace. A meeting can become a place where wisdom speaks instead of pride. A business can become a vessel of integrity. A classroom can become a field of mercy. A hospital room, a kitchen, a workshop, a phone call, a spreadsheet, a storefront, a studio, a delivery route, a home office. A quiet corner where unseen tasks are completed with faithfulness. All of these can become places where my presence is carried by one who belongs to me. You do not need a platform for your life to become light. You need obedience. You need love. You need a heart that says, Lord, use even this. Remember Esther, she did not enter the palace by accident. Her position was not merely decoration, promotion, or personal favor. There were people attached to her obedience. There was protection hidden within her placement. There was deliverance waiting for her courage. And when fear could have silenced her, the word came to her that perhaps she had come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Beloved, as written in the book of Esther, who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? And so it is with you. Who knows whether this next room, this next assignment, this next responsibility, this next connection, this next work season is not only an answer to your prayer, but also an answer I am sending through you to someone else? Do not make this grand in a way that becomes heavy with pride. Do not imagine that kingdom impact always sounds like thunder. Many times it sounds like patience when everyone else is harsh. It sounds like integrity when shortcuts are being praised. It sounds like prayer whispered before a difficult conversation. It sounds like mercy towards someone who is new, anxious, embarrassed, or slow to learn. It sounds like refusing to use authority to crush what I entrusted you to strengthen. It sounds like building something honest when dishonesty would bring faster gain. It sounds like providing for your family with peace instead of panic. It sounds like showing up with a clean heart in a place where many have grown cold. I know the wounds you wanted only to forget, but I can turn wounds into wisdom without reopening the injury. I can turn pressure into compassion without keeping you trapped in the pain. Because you have known uncertainty, you will not mock those who tremble. Because you have known delay, you will recognize the ache in those who are waiting. Because you have known closed doors, you will speak gently to those who feel rejected. Because you have known burnout, you will lead with mercy instead of demanding that others destroy themselves to prove their worth. What you survived with me can become light for someone still walking through the valley. So today, receive responsibility with humility. Promotion is not only elevation, it is stewardship. The open door is not only access, it is assignment. The next season is not only a place where you will be seen, it is a place where my light within you must not be hidden. Walk in excellence, but do not worship excellence. Lead with strength, but do not lose tenderness. Build with courage, but do not forget dependence. Serve with wisdom, but do not let wisdom become pride. I am placing something in your hands, and I am also placing people within the reach of your faithfulness. Beloved, your next work season carries purpose beyond your own relief. I have formed you in hiddenness so you can carry light without being consumed by attention. I have healed you so healing can flow through the way you speak, serve, lead, create, decide, and remain faithful. Step forward knowing this. I am not only bringing you into a new place, I am sending you as my witness there. And now, beloved, stand at the threshold with peace, not panic. Do not let the trembling of transition convince you that I have left you alone at the doorway. The same hand that held you in hiddenness is the hand guiding you through the open door. The same voice that whispered to you in seasons no one understood is the voice speaking now over your work, your provision, your household, your future, and your next step. I did not bring you through burnout, delay, closed doors, and uncertainty only to abandon you at the moment of movement. I was with you when the door closed. I was with you when the answer was slow. I was with you when you did not know how the bills would be paid. I was with you when you questioned whether your strength would return. And I am with you now. Beloved, I am ordering your steps, closing what must close, opening what must open, and teaching your heart to trust me in the movement. I am not asking you to run in fear. I am not asking you to chase every opportunity as though your life depends on human approval. I am not asking you to grasp at every door because you are afraid there will never be another one. I am teaching you to recognize peace. I am teaching you to discern timing. I am teaching you to know the difference between pressure that comes from my leading and panic that comes from fear. The door I appoint will carry my wisdom, The step I bless will carry my peace. The place I send you will not require you to abandon your soul in order to survive. As written in the book of Psalms, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Those words are not only for someone whose path has always been smooth, they are for the one who has stumbled and risen again. They are for the one who has waited. They are for the one who has prayed with tears over work, income, calling, and direction. They are for you. I am ordering your steps, even when the road feels unfamiliar. I am ordering your steps, even when the old door is behind you and the new door is not yet fully understood. I am ordering your steps when I say wait, and I am ordering your steps when I say move. So, receive this declaration over your life. May your work be covered by my presence. May your provision be sustained by my hand. May your mind receive clarity where confusion has been loud. May wrong doors close before they can wound you. May right doors open at the appointed time. May your heart be protected from desperation. May your household be covered with peace. May anxiety lose its voice in your decisions. May burnout be healed by rhythms of grace. May your strength return without striving. May your courage rise without pride. May your obedience be steady, humble, and full of faith. May every assignment that is not yours lose its grip. And may every assignment I have prepared for you recognize you when the time comes. I speak peace over the place where fear has been rehearsing the worst. I speak peace over your finances. I speak peace over the conversations you still need to have. I speak peace over the application, the interview, the proposal, the resignation, the transition, the training, the rebuilding, the business, the ministry, the household, and the quiet plans you have barely had courage to name. I speak peace over the nights when you wonder how everything will come together. I speak peace over the mornings when you must rise and take one faithful step before you see the full answer. My peace is not fragile. My peace does not depend on perfect circumstances. My peace can stand in the doorway between what was and what is coming. Remember Joshua standing before the Jordan. The wilderness was behind him, but the promise still required movement. The people had to step toward waters they could not control, trusting that I was already making a way. Beloved, you are not being asked to create the riverbed. You are being asked to follow my presence. You are not being asked to force the promise. You are being asked to move when I say move, wait when I say wait, and trust that I know the appointed time. You will not chase every opportunity in fear. You will not call every open door my will. You will not bow to desperation as though panic is your provider. You will recognize the door that carries my peace, my timing, and my purpose. You will know it not only by excitement, but by the quiet witness of my spirit. You will know it by the way wisdom confirms it. You will know it by the way it aligns with what I have been forming in you. You will know it by the grace that rests upon the step, even if courage is still required. Beloved, step across the threshold with peace. The hidden season was not wasted. The delay was not denial. The closed door was not the end. The burnout was not your final identity. The provision anxiety did not cancel my faithfulness. I have been preparing you. I have been protecting you. I have been teaching you. I have been guiding you toward a work season where your hands, your heart, your wisdom, and your testimony will serve my purpose. And if this word is speaking to your spirit, write this declaration in the comments. My work season is shifting by God's hand. Or write, God is guiding my next door. Let it be a faith declaration from your heart, not as empty words, but as agreement with what I am doing in your life. Leave your prayer request for work, provision, career direction, or clarity, and let others stand with you in faith. Like this video if you are receiving this word. Share it with someone who is under workplace pressure and needs to remember that I have not forgotten them. Subscribe for more God-centered messages and return to the comments to testify when I begin opening the right door. For I am guiding your next work season, and you will not cross this threshold alone.